What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Pro Wrestling Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ, coming at you once again on the U to the 2. So, a couple of things I wanted to talk about tonight. Feel like it's been a while. First off, I want to talk about the winners of the Goddess of Stardom Tag League. Want to go over that, the final standings for that. Want to also go over the current standings of the Best of Super Juniors tournament, as well as the World Tag League for, both from New Japan Pro Wrestling, as well as some upcoming events for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Also want to talk AEW as well. Also want to keep an eye on the current TBS Championship Tournament for the ladies. And, of course, the debut of Jay Lethal, who is all elite. Big deal for Jay Lethal and AEW. And also want to run down the card for this Sunday's Survivor Series. So, let's get started with Stardom. So, let's look at the final standings of the Goddess of Stardom Tag League. So, looking at the Blue Goddess block, of course, finishing at the bottom was Lady C and Waka Tsukiyama with 0 points. Tam Nakano and Mina Shirakawa as Dream H finished with 3 points. Shuri and Maika finished with 6 points. And there was a 3-way tie with 7 points with Starlight Kid and Ruoka, Mai Iwatani and Ren Katakura, and Azumi and Momo Watanabe. But because Momo and Azumi won a tiebreaker match, they ended up advancing to the finals for the blue block. So they made it to the finals. Last year's Goddess of Stardom tag team winners, and Momo Watanabe and Azumi. Looking at the red block, you have Water and Oil, Hanan and Rina, finished with 2 points. They actually won their very last match in this league tournament. You have Saki Kashima and Fukigen Death, and Unagi Sayaka and Mai Sakurai both finished with 4 points. Hime Poi, Himeka and Natsupoi finished with 6 points. And Aphrodite and Stars FCW, which is, Tami Hayashishita, Saya Kamitani, and the team of Koguma and Hazuki, both finished with 7 points. But because Koguma and Hazuki won the tiebreaker, they ended up advancing to the finals out of the red block. So, the finals came down to Azumi and Momo Watanabe versus Hazuki and Koguma. And this was actually a really good match that could have gone either way. But sure enough, Koguma gets the German suplex pin on Azumi to give her team the victory. And FWC of Hazuki and Koguma have won the 2021 Goddess of Stardom Tag League. So they get their championship rings. Not only that, they have earned a Goddess of Stardom tag title opportunity. So definitely keep that in mind. Of course, the current title holders are Shuri and Julia, which Julia, has been out with an injury, but hopefully she'll be able to return in time so that they can defend those titles against Koguma and Hazuki. And we also have to remember, Hazuki is with Stars now. So she's part of Stars. Doesn't really change up her look that much. She still kind of has that same look to when she was in Oedo Tai. So I don't know if we're going to really see that change. But she seems to be fitting well with Stars, with the Stars stable. So, that's pretty cool. Not only did this happen, but also Starlight Kid made a challenge to Momo Watanabe. Challenged for a match where the loser would have to join the opposing stable. Meaning, if Starlight Kid lost, she would have to join Queen's Quest. But if Momo Watanabe lost, she would have to join Oedo Tai. This is kind of weird, to be honest with you, because I really don't. It's just a really weird setup. I don't see Momo joining Oedo Tai as much as I don't see Starlight Kid joining Queen's Quest. So, I mean, I don't know. I just really feel like because I mean, Queen's Quest, what, only has 4 members currently? Momo, Azumi, Utami, Saya. I mean, they only have 4 members right now. I mean, Hina, she's full-time back in school, so I mean, but at the same time, it would be weird to see Starlight Kid just all of a sudden now in Queen's Quest. You know, she hasn't really been in Oedo Tai that long. I mean, I think it's almost on its way to being a year, maybe close. But it just doesn't seem like she's been in Oedo Tai that long. So I don't really see that happening. And Momo Watanabe and Oedo Tai just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't look right either. So I feel like something is going to happen in the form of a draw or a double count out, and just everything just goes neutral. One and neither join the opposing stable. That's what I think is going to happen. Me personally, that's what I think is going to happen. Because I really don't see Momo and Oedo Tai, and I don't see Starlight Kid and Queen's Quest. I don't see it. I really don't. I really don't. Couple of other things with Stardom. With the Tokyo Super Wars coming up next week, November 27th, it's a handful of matches that have been made. Like, there's going to be a 3-way battle to determine the number 1 contender for the Wonder of Stardom Championship, the white belt. And the contestants are Himeka, Saya Kamitani, and Natsupoi. So this ought to be interesting. This ought to be really interesting. See what happens there. We also have, don't forget, we got Koguma gets a shot at the high-speed title held by Starlight Kid. Shuri will defend the SWA Championship, and I believe as well as the World of Stardom contract. You know, the contract she won at the 5-Star Grand Prix against Konami. A returning Konami, which I believe she recently returned and just getting back into the action. But pretty much Konami's back and she's able to compete. And I wonder if this is going to be UWF rules, because I know that's what Shuri and Konami originally wanted. But we'll see what happens. And then Tam Nakano will be defending the Wonder of Stardom Championship against Mina Shirakawa. You know, she's been gunning for that title for a bit, so she wants a shot at that. And then Maika will get a shot at Utami Hayashishita for the red belt, the World of Stardom Championship. So there's quite a good bit to look forward to at the next Tokyo Super Wars, November 27th. Should be good. Should be really good. Oh, as a matter of fact, hold up. So apparently it's been announced that December 18th. Okay, so this is to elaborate more on the detail of Starlight Kid's challenge. So December 18th, it'll be Queen's Quest versus Oedo Tai. So it'll be 5-on-5. Or excuse me, 4-on-4. I'm sorry. It'll be 4-on-4. So it's Oedo Tai with Starlight Kid, Konami, Saki Kashima, and Ruaka going up against all 4 members of Queen Quest. Utami Hayashishita, Saya Kamatani, Azumi, Momo Watanabe. And the losing unit, pretty much, I guess this is going to be an elimination match. I assume this is going to be an elimination match, and the last member eliminated has to join the opposing faction. So, I mean, honestly, to think about it, it looks like it could be any member of Queen's Quest going to Oedo Tai, or any member of Oedo Tai going to Queen's Quest. So, I mean, which I believe the only person from Oedo Tai in this match that's been with Queen's Quest, I believe, has been Konami. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. I can't really. If you ask me right now, it seems like there's some sort of tension between, okay, who is really the current leader of Oedo Tai? Is it Konami? Is it Starlight Kid? Because Starlight Kid has kind of been inserting herself, especially while Konami's been rehabbing from injury. So, I don't know if that's going to lead to somebody turning on Starlight Kid. I don't know. Or, who's to say that Momo Watanabe won't turn on Queen's Quest? I mean, Momo's been kind of taking the back seat, kind of, sort of, where more of the Azumis and the Utami Hayashishitas has been given kind of more of the spotlight, especially with Utami being the red belt champ for 1 year now. So, I mean, it's hard to say. I really don't. I don't like the look of this. But I don't know. I just feel like, and what do you think about it? Honestly, you look at the past history of these type of matches involving Oedo Tai. Oedo Tai's been on the winning end. I mean, think about it. Konami. This was how she went to Oedo Tai after TCS. Starlight Kid. Fukiken Death. So, I mean, Oedo Tai has been kind of the favorite in these type of matches. So, is this where the streak gets broken? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. But Oedo Tai has been the sole victor of these type of matches lately. So I don't know. But they haven't announced the rules yet, just the stipulation, but they haven't announced the rules to this match. But it will take place at Osaka Super Wars December 18th. So we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to really see what happens. But it should be good. Should be really good. There's a lot to look forward to, especially with Stardom. And then don't forget, in December, December 29th, heaven forbid anything happens to Shuri, she will get her red belt opportunity against Utami. So we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens, but there's a lot to look forward to with Stardom. Should be exciting. I still wonder when we're gonna see Saya Ida return. I mean, she was in the ring there to help welcome Hazuki into Stars. So it makes me wonder, are we gonna see Saya Ida return soon? Is she cleared? She might be cleared soon. So here's hoping. But we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. Okay, let's go to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Let's look at the current results as of now of the best of the Super Juniors currently. So right now we have sitting at the bottom with 0 points is Yo. He's lost 3 matches. He's lost to Doki, Bushi, and Hiromu Takahashi. Okay, sitting at 2 points, we have Ryusuke Taguchi, Master Wato, Robbie Eagles, El Desperado, and El Phantasma. Ryusuke Taguchi, he's beaten Robbie Eagles, but he's lost to Bushi and Sho. Master Wato, he's beaten El Phantasmo, but he's lost to El Desperado and Robbie Eagles. Robbie Eagles has beaten Master Wato, but he's lost to Ryusuke Taguchi and Taiji Ishimori. El Desperado has beaten Master Wato, but he's lost to Taiji Ishimori and hold up. Hold on, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. El Desperado has beaten Master Wato, but has lost to Taiji Ishimori and Sho. Had to correct myself. And then El Phantasmo has beaten Doki, but has lost to Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Robbie Eagles. Okay, sitting at 4 points, Hiromu Takahashi, Bushi, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Doki, and Taiji Ishimori. Let's look at Hiromu. He has beaten Yo and Yoshinobu Kanemaru, but has lost to Sho. Bushi has beaten Ryusuke Taguchi and Yo, but has lost to Doki. Yoshinobu Kanemaru has beaten Taiji Ishimori and El Phantasmo, but has lost to Hiromu Takahashi. Doki has beaten Yo and Bushi, but has lost to El Phantasmo. Taiji Ishimori has beaten Robbie Eagles and El Desperado, but has lost to Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Okay. And then sitting alone right now at the top with 6 points is Sho, who's currently undefeated. He has beaten Ryusuke Taguchi, Hiromu Takahashi, and El Desperado. So Sho off to a really strong start in the Best of Super Juniors tournament. We'll have to see if that continues going forward, but off to a great start. Let's look at the World Tag League, which, like I said, both of these tournaments are going on at the same time. Okay, World Tag League. Right now, sitting at 0 points are Togi Makabe and Tomaki Honma, Yuji Nagata and Tiger Mask, Minoru Suzuki and Taka Michinoku, and Evil and Yujiro Takahashi all have 0 points. Makabe and Honma have lost to Hiroshi Tanahashi and Toru Yano, Naito and Sanada, and the Gorillas of Destiny. Yuji Nagata and Tiger Mask, they've lost to Tanahashi and Yano, Hiroyoshi Tenzan and Satoshi Kojima, and have lost to the Gorillas of Destiny. Minoru Suzuki and Taka Michinoku have lost to Naito, Sanada, Dangerous Tekkers, and Great O'Karn and Aaron Hanare. And then Evil and Yujiro have lost to Tanahashi and Yano, Great O'Karn and Aaron Hanare, and Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens. Okay, sitting alone with 2 points is Hiroshi Tenzan and Satoshi Kojima. They've beaten Yuji Nagata and Tiger Mask, but they've lost to Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi and the Dangerous Tekkers. Okay, sitting at 4 points, we got 4 teams at 4 points. We got Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. We have the Great O'Karn and Aaron Hanare. We have the Gorillas of Destiny, and we have Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens. So, Goto and Yoshihashi, they have beaten Hiroshi Tenzan and Kojima and the Gorillas of Destiny, but they've lost to Naito and Sonata. The Great O'Karn and Aaron Hanare have beaten Evil and Yujiro, Suzuki and Taka, but have lost to Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens. The Gorillas of Destiny have beaten Makabe and Honma and Nagata and Tiger Mask, but they've lost to Goto and Yoshihashi. And then Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens have beaten the Great O'Karn and Aaron Hanare and Evil and Yujiro, but they've lost to the Dangerous Tekkers. And then sitting, we got 3 teams right now sitting at 6 points. We have Hiroshi Tanahashi and Toru Yano. We have Naito and Sonata. And we have the Dangerous Tekkers. So, Tanahashi and Yano have defeated Makabe and Honma, Nagata and Tiger Mask, and Evil and Yujiro. So, they're 3-0 right now. Naito and Sonata, also 3-0, have beaten Makabe and Honma, Goto and Yoshihashi, and Suzuki and Taka. The Dangerous Tekkers, which is Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr., have beaten Tenzan and Kojima, Suzuki and Taka, and Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens. So they're undefeated as well. So those are your 3 teams tied for first place with 6 points. So still plenty of matches to go, but this is getting to be an interesting 2 tournaments. But it's exciting. It's definitely very exciting. I wanted to take also a moment to look at the results from Battle in the Valley that took place last weekend at San Jose, California. So let's recap the results of that right quick. So we had the Strong Extra match, which was Kevin Knight and the DKC against Hikuleo and Chris Bay of Bullet Club. Not really a long match, but Hikuleo got the victory for Bullet Club with the choke slam. So, but not a long match. All right, the first official match of the card was Yu Uemura going up against Josh Alexander. And you know what? This was actually a pretty good match to start off with between the both. But Josh Alexander was able to get the tap out with the ankle lock on Yu Uemura. But a great match to start this card off. You had a tag team match where you had Bateman and Mysterioso going up against Brody King and Chris Dickinson of Violence Unlimited. Unfortunately, Chris Dickinson got hurt, and pretty much, I guess they had to go to a quicker finish or a different finish, and Bateman went ahead. After Mysterioso disposed of Brody King, was able to roll up Chris Dickinson to get the 1-2-3, and they get the victory. But yeah, Chris Dickinson going off the top rope suffered a bad injury. I think it was it looked like it was his quad or his hamstring of some sort. I couldn't tell what it was, but it looked like some sort of leg injury that he suffered. So, you never want to see those happen, but yeah, it sucks that happened. But hopefully he can bounce back soon. And then we had a 10-man tag match. We had a team of Fred Rosser, Dave Finlay, Rocky Romero, Alex Conklin, and Alex Zane going up against Team Filthy, led by Tom Lawler, JR Kratos, Danny Limelight, and the West Coast wrecking crew of Royce Isaacs and Gerald Nelson. I gotta be honest, I did not expect Fred Rosser's team to win this. I really didn't. But Fred Rosser had a very strong showing in this match. It was very much back and forth, but he got the victory for his team. I was really surprised. I did not see that happen. I didn't see that coming. But yeah, they got the one up on Team Filthy. So this is big because one of the things was Fred Rosser wants a shot at Tom Lawler's strong openweight championship. So this, I believe, is just another way of setting that up going forward. And then we had a tag team match where we had Clark Connors and Carl Fredericks team up to take on United Empire's Jeff Cobb and TJP. This was another one that was kind of surprising because Carl Fredericks was able to get the pin on TJP, which, like I said, he's the recent newest member of United Empire, but they were able to get the victory and defeat Jeff Cobb and TJP. You know, unfortunately, it was a roll up or like a cradle, but still, it's kind of a big statement, being that TJP just recently joined United Empire. We had a really, really good, hard-fought battle singles match. Will Ospreay went up against Ren Narita. And I have to say, Ren Narita, actually, he brought it. He really brought it. And it was close. But Will Ospreay was able to get the victory with a hidden blade. And I got to give Ren Narita credit. Was able to escape out of the Stormbreaker. Was able to avoid the Oz Cutter. But eventually fell to the hidden blade. But it was a great showing by Ren Narita. And then we had Juice Robinson versus Moose, which actually was my second favorite match. My second favorite match of the entire card. I really enjoyed this match. These two, talked a lot of trash back and forth and really just brought it. I mean, it was back and forth, and I thought that when Juice Robinson hit Pulp Friction, that was it, but no. Moose kicked out of it and eventually, out of nowhere, was able to hit the spear on Juice Robinson to get the victory. And then post-match, Jonah, a.k.a. Bronson Reed, comes down, scares off Moose. But then Jonah ended up beating down Juice Robinson. His Dave Finlay, his partner, Finjuice, Dave Finlay came in to try to fight off Jonah, but didn't really work out too well. And Jonah ended up fighting him off and stood tall. Got on the mic and pretty much proclaimed Jonah is here in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and it looks like he's debuting as a heel. So I definitely like it. I look forward to seeing what Jonah can do in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, should be good. Should be really good. I'm looking forward to it. We had my favorite match of the card. That's right. Kazuchika Okada taking on the debuting Buddy Matthews, a.k.a. Buddy Murphy. And I have to say, this was an incredible match. For these first two going up against each other for the first time, wow. They really had some great chemistry in the ring. It was back and forth. It was awesome. It was really awesome. And I think Buddy Matthews will do just fine in a New Japan Pro Wrestling ring. And that shows it right there, going up against one of the best in Kazuchika Okada. And even though he fell to the Rainmaker and Okada got the victory, I love the mutual respect showed at the end. And I just hope that's not the last time we see these two go at it. And I really, really believe Buddy Matthews is going to have a great career in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, great match. My favorite on the card. And then the main event of Battle in the Valley was the never open weight championship that Switchblade Jay White defended against the Stone Pit Bull Tomohiro Ishii. And lately Tomohiro Ishii's been pretty busy because, of course, he also was on AEW as well. And once again, this was Jay White's second defense, and once again, Tomohiro Ishii just happens to be Jay White's kryptonite. That's his kryptonite. And Tomohiro Ishii, after a long, hard-fought match, was able to put away Jay White with a vertical drop brainbuster, also known as the sheer drop brainbuster, to get the 1, 2, 3 and become the new never open weight champion. Tomohiro Ishii, the Stone Pit Bull. Like I said, lately he just seems to have Jay White's number. So it's unfortunate for Jay White, because this was only his second defense of the title. So, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how Switchblade bounces back from this. So, we'll see. We'll definitely see. But it was definitely a good card. Overall, it's a good card. Like I said, we saw the debut of Buddy Matthews. We saw Jonah make an appearance. Unfortunately, Chris Dickinson got hurt. So, wish a speedy recovery for him. Couple of things with New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, we got ourselves a special event as part of Wrestle Kingdom 16. So, on Worldwide Pay-Per-View, January 8th, there is going to be a show, Wrestle Kingdom, where New Japan Pro Wrestling will go up versus Pro Wrestling Noah. This is big. And this is something that, is supposed to be part of a supposed, 50 promotion collaboration for New Japan Pro Wrestling? I mean, it's a really big deal. It's a big deal. And not only that, this is going to be available on pay-per-view worldwide in English. Not to mention, those that subscribe to NJPW World will have access to this event on demand, with the event being available 7 days later. Which is fine. Which is definitely fine. But this is a big deal. So I'm looking forward to this. Wrestle Kingdom. This is huge. This is going to be really, really huge. So I'm excited. This next year's Wrestle Kingdom has really the potential to be huge. It's going to be huge. It's definitely going to be huge. Looking forward to it. But so you have 3 shows for Wrestle Kingdom. You got 2 in the Tokyo Dome, back-to-back, Tuesday, January 4th, and Wednesday, January 5th. And then you have Wrestle Kingdom in Yokohama, January 8th. So the Yokohama show will feature New Japan Pro Wrestling versus Pro Wrestling Noah. Looking forward to that. It's going to be so cool. And of course, we're going to have Shingo Takagi defend the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Kazuchika Okada. We know we're going to see that. And not only that, as done in Battle of the Valley, Will Ospreay is making his plans, stating his claim to challenge the winner of that match between Okada and Shingo for night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom in the Tokyo Dome. So that's going to be big. That's going to be really big. So I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. But we also, for New Japan Pro Wrestling, we also got Nemesis, NJPW strong Nemesis. And, that's going to be quite a card. We're going to see Jonah make his debut taking on Dave Finlay. We're going to see Christopher Daniels make a return to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he's going to take on Jay White, Switchblade Jay White. So that's big. Arya Davari is going to be competing in a New Japan Pro Wrestling ring as he takes on Alex Zane. So this is another interesting card being built for Nemesis. And this will be Thursday, December 9th in Hollywood, California. So New Japan Pro Wrestling is going to be really staying busy with these events. Still got the World Tag League, still got the Best of Super Juniors. A lot of people were thinking we may see Kazuchika Okada in the United States soon. I mean, we just saw Tomohiro Ishii on AEW, so it's a lot to look forward to. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. Let's see. Let's take a look. Let's take a little bit of a look at the at AEW. So, looking at the standings so far for the AEW TBS Women's Championship Tournament, right now we got two that have advanced to the semifinals. We had Nyla Rose defeat Hikaru Shida, made her tap out. And we had Jade Cargill defeat Red Velvet to advance. And you know something? When you think about it, look at the last 3 matches that Hikaru Shida has lost. All 3 of them were submissions where she tapped out. Remember, she lost the title to Britt Baker. She tapped out to the Lockjaw. She also lost to Serena Deeb via and was denied the first attempt at that 50th win. She tapped out to the Serenity Lock. And then she tapped out to Nyla Rose via the Stretch Muffler. Which, of course, I understand Serena Deeb did attack that knee. But yeah, that's 3 tap outs from Shida in her last 3 losses. That's gotta hurt for Hikaru Shida. I mean, I know she's the longest reigning, champion that AEW's had. And I know she did eventually get that 50th win, but dang, her last 3 losses have been submission tap outs. It just kind of looks... That has to sting. That has to sting for Shida. So, I just had to throw that out there. But, and like I said, Jade Cargill beating Red Velvet doesn't surprise me. I didn't think that Red Velvet had a chance, to be honest with you. But, those 2 are in the semifinals. They have advanced. So, that means we still got Chris Statlander versus Ruby Soho. And the winner of that match will face Nyla Rose in the semis. And then we have Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter, which the winner of that will face Jade Cargill in the semis. And honestly, I'm predicting Thunder Rosa will beat Jamie Hayter. And if she loses to Jade Cargill, I'm going to be mad. Chris Statlander, Ruby Soho, either one of them could potentially beat Nyla Rose. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. But should be good. What I also thought was interesting, so the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, and his quest to get to Adam Page, which, I mean, he does have a title shot owed to him. He's a number 1 contender. But he's now a heel. Just like that, Bryan Danielson is now a heel, and he's going to take out each member of the Dark Order leading up to the current AEW World Champion, Hangman Adam Page. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal, and I like that they're building a storyline with this. And you know something, it also makes me wonder if this was a backup plan or this is something that they decided to do, being that you got Moxley that's going to be taking some time away for a while, doing the rehab, and then you have to also look at Kenny Omega. You know, that's, I assume, is also going to be really taking some time off to get surgery for his injuries. I believe he's got some shoulder injuries or like back surgery or something like that. And he also has been dealing with vertigo. So Kenny Omega has really been powering through a lot of these lingering injuries to perform for us. So, you know, that's a big deal. But I really want Kenny Omega to take plenty of time off. And I think he has been long overdue for some time off, y'all. So I really hope Kenny Omega, even if it's like 6, 7, 8 months to maybe even a year, I'm okay with that. I think Kenny Omega has done so much and has put his body through so much. He needs the time off, get his surgeries, rehab, recover, rest, heal up, so that he can come back stronger and healthier. Because right now he's not there. And he's been powering and performing through all that for the show, for the fans. So, and not only that, he's hoping the Young Bucks, instead of Adam Cole, to kind of take over and, you know, run things for the Elite. And not only that, plus you got, you know, Adam Cole teaming up with Bobby Fish. I mean, which they go way back ever since, you know, ROH and of course, you know, NXT. They were the Undisputed Era. But it makes me wonder if this is going to split a wedge between Kenny Omega and Adam Cole. So it's looking that way. It's looking that way. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when it fully comes to fruition. But like I said, I clearly believe that Kenny Omega needs to take the time off. Plenty of time. So that's what I expect. But other than that, I mean, those are really the main things that stuck out. Like I said, Tomohiro Ishii teamed up with Orange Cassidy, and they beat the Butcher and the Blade. So there was a pretty decent sized pop for Tomohiro Ishii. You know, and of course, you know, best friends are part of Chaos now. So, you know, Tomohiro Ishii is with Chaos. So it makes sense. It works out. And then we had a fire of a main event. Sammy Guevara defending the TNT Championship against the debuting newest signee of AEW, Jay Lethal. This was an excellent match, and Jay Lethal still clearly shows why he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. And even though he was not able to put away Sammy Guevara and win the title, there's a lot of mutual respect there. And, you know, just the fact that Jay Lethal debuted on Dynamite in the main event says so much. Says so much. What a way to welcome in Jay Lethal to AEW by his first match being in the main event for a title. It's a big deal. That's a big deal. And, you know, even with Bobby Fish was a big deal as well, although his match was in the main event, but his first match in was a title shot. So I just think that's really awesome. That's really awesome. But yeah. Those are the pretty main points with AEW so far. But like I said, I really hope Kenny Omega seriously takes the time off. You know, now that he's not champion, this is the opportunity for him to take the necessary time off and such. So, you know, get well, recover, do what you got to do, the surgeries. AEW will be just fine. very interesting turn of events in NXT UK that I wanted to point out. So Jack Dempsey, or excuse me, not Jack Dempsey, Charlie Dempsey ends up joining Rohit Raja and Tealman, and they beat down Gallus. That I did not expect. I didn't expect that. That's very interesting. Tealman, Rohit Raja, and Charlie Dempsey. I guess this is a stable now. This is weird. This is really, really weird. I don't really know how to really take this, but it's kind of weird. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. When NXT went off, last thing that was done, Io Shirai announced War Games. You know, as they had the brawl, her, Cora Jade, and Raquel Gonzalez brawn against Toxic Attraction and Dakota Kai. So, pretty clearly set up for War Games. And it looks like, I'm guessing the captains are going to be Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. I mean, that's got to be the obvious choice for the captains. But it's looking like Raquel's team's going to be Io Shirai, Cora Jade. I'm willing to bet money that maybe Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter will get thrown into the mix because they do have history with Toxic Attraction. And let's not also forget about Saray. Saray could be in the mix because she has history against Toxic Attraction. So, something to really think about. Pardon me, y'all. My eyes are kind of burning a little bit. Just bear with me. But you have them going up against, you know, all three members of Toxic Attraction, Dakota Kai, and have to figure out who their other member would be. So it'll be interesting to see what the matchups for the men and women would be for War Games. But it looks like we are getting War Games. We'll just have to see how they build up the card for War Games. Should be good. Should be really good. Okay. And then last, wanted to talk about, look at this card for Survivor Series. Survivor Series this Sunday, 8 p.m. And this is the last of the big four of the year. Because remember, the big four: Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. So this is the last of the big four of the year. So let's look at the card. I mean, the build up for Survivor Series has been lackluster. So I don't really expect a lot to go down. I don't really expect many surprises or anything like that. But anyway, let's go over the card. So, one of the things that was announced was there's going to be a 25-man dual brand battle royal. And the stars for this battle royal will be as listed: Ricochet, T-Bar, Mansoor, Cesaro, the Street Profits, the Viking Raiders, R-Truth, Drew Gulak, AJ Styles, Omos, Sami Zayn, Humberto Carrillo, Angel Garza, Commander Aziz and Apollo Crews, Alpha Academy, Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, the Dirty Dogs, Shanky, and Jinder Mahal. Those are your 25 men for this 25-man dual brand battle royal. Who do I think is going to win? Honestly, I really could care less. It's probably not going to be anybody notable, but I could be wrong. But they're doing this to celebrate apparently the 25th year anniversary of the year The Rock made his debut, which was at Survivor Series in 1996. So that's what brought up this idea of a 25-man dual brand battle royal. So we have the mid-card champions that will be taking on each other. We got Shinsuke Nakamura, the Intercontinental Champion, taking on the United States Champion of Damian Priest. This has potential to be a good match. I don't think these two have ever faced each other before. So, you know what? I really feel like this has a chance to be an instant classic. I think this has a chance to be a 5-star match, depending on how much time they give these two. But I really hope this turns out to be a great match because there's potential there. Damian Priest, Shinsuke Nakamura, there's a lot of potential there. Who would I pick to win? I'm going to go with Shinsuke, but I expect it to be a great match. All right, we got the battle of the tag champs. Both brands going at it. Raw Tag Champions RK Bro will defend against the Usos, the SmackDown Tag Champs. Honestly, I think the Usos will probably win. I could be wrong, but something tells me some way, somehow, the Usos are going to win. But it's another tag team match I'm not really invested in. We also got both main card champions, or both main champions going against each other. WWE Champion Big E will go up against the Universal Champion Roman Reigns. I don't see Big E winning, but something tells me to keep Big E strong, they may have some sort of DQ finish. Probably going to be some sort of DQ finish. But we'll see what happens. Who knows? Maybe Brock Lesnar interferes. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Both women's champions will be going up against each other. The Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch will take on the SmackDown Champion of Charlotte Flair. Something tells me this is going to turn into a shoot fight. I mean, these people already don't like each other. There's backstage heat. I think they're going to shoot. I think they're going to have a shoot fight session. I see it coming. I sense it. I strongly believe it's going to happen between Becky and Charlotte. Who would I think will win? I'm going to stay neutral. I mean, I like Becky, but there's no telling it as far as who would win, to be honest with you. But I expect the heat to intensify and they to have a shoot moment. I think it's going to happen. And then we got both traditional Survivor Series elimination matches. So with the women, the final roster for this match for the women, for Team Raw, it's going to be Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Queen Zelina. Going up against SmackDown's team of Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi Blackheart, Natalya, and Toni Storm. To be honest, I feel like on paper, Team SmackDown is the stronger team for the women, but I don't know. Queen Zelina has been on a win streak since becoming Queen Zelina. I mean, Bianca Belair's been doing her thing. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan's been rising up, which, remember, she still has a title match owed to her. But I just think, looking at SmackDown, Sasha Banks, Toni Storm, Shotzi, Natalya, Shayna. I mean, I just feel like they're the stronger team on paper. So I'm going to say Team SmackDown for the ladies wins it, but I could be wrong. And then the traditional Survivor Series elimination match for the men. So for the men, for Team Raw, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley. That's Team Raw. Team SmackDown, Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Xavier Woods, Sheamus, and Happy Corbin. Now, for this, I definitely feel Team Raw has the stronger team, and I could see Team Raw winning. So for the women, Team SmackDown. For the men, Team Raw. But we'll have to see what happens, but I don't expect anything crazy happening. Like I said, the build-up to Survivor Series this year hasn't been good. It hasn't been good. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not really that hyped about Survivor Series, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, that's pretty much it. That's all that I have for this episode of Pro Wrestling Talk. But like I said, next video I'll probably do will be recap of the results of Survivor Series. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I have. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any video. Thank you so much for watching. This has been another Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ, Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed day, and I will see y'all soon. Peace.